Day
funny.
one of free agency. You know, we said this last night on PFTPM. They call it the negotiating period. They call it legal tampering.
Yes.
Let's just call it what it is.
Right.
It's the start of free agency. That's what it is. When these deals are done, a minute after the negotiating period opens, when the NFL is trumpeting these deals on its social feeds, this is the start of free agency, and it began yesterday. And teams with rookies or quarterbacks on rookie deals, as the case may be, were loading up where they could to help them out. Let's begin with the Chargers. And we've seen this coming. It started last week with the trade that will bring officially Khalil Mack to the Chargers on Wednesday. They've got Justin Herbert entering year 3 of his rookie deal. Can't sign him to a new contract until after this season ends. So they got money they can spend. And in addition to what they'll be spending on Khalil Mack, as we expected, as we had heard, open secret, they were going after J.C. Jackson. And I'm surprised he wasn't one of the 12:01 p.m. Eastern announcements. It came a little bit later in the day. J.C. Jackson to the Chargers. 5 years, $82.5 million. He wanted $20 million a year. The good news is he gets $20 million a year over the first 2 years. $40 million over the first 2 years. Then it becomes year-to-year option for the Chargers after that. So he's getting $40 million guaranteed at signing. A great deal for a guy who was undrafted. That's how it's supposed to work. The guys who come in and play well are supposed to get paid, and J.C. Jackson did by virtue of the fact that the Patriots didn't use the franchise tag and he was able to leave.
Yeah, no, I mean, phenomenal football player. Yes, I thought he would get closer to that $20 million a year range. But, hey, you know, I think we saw this coming just from the way Brandon Staley answered some of our questions at the Combine last week. I mean, he was pretty open with the fact that their personnel did not match up with the way he wanted to coach football on that side of, you know, the defensive side of the ball. So they're aggressive. You know, they're looking at it going, like you said, we got a rookie quarterback. We kind of got the offense where we want it. We re-signed one of our big free agents and Mike Williams. You know, they got the offensive line settled last year, so they can look at the offense and go, hey, we're kind of good over there. Now let's address our head coach's defensive side of the ball. And, I mean, killing it. I don't know any other way to say it. Khalil Mack, imperative to what Brandon Staley wants to do. You know, 3-4 outside linebacker, can also play defensive end. The scheme itself is rooted in its 3-4 roots there. Sebastian Joseph-Day, you know, I think one of the things we talked about a million times last year, the Chargers, they can't stop the run. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the run. You know, yeah, they're good at rushing the passer. Khalil Mack's one of the best outside edge stoppers as far as the run's concerned. You get a Sebastian Joseph-Day from one of your rivals in town, the Rams. You take him, who's a really good football player and versatile, and then another run stopper in Austin Johnson. So they addressed a lot of needs. And not only just addressed them, they got two difference makers who can, like, make some superstar-type plays and say, hey, forget what you coach me, coach. Don't worry. I'll take care of this.
Yeah, look, and I love the Sebastian Joseph-Day signing because he stays in the same stadium.
Right.
He just moves to a different locker room, goes from
Right.
the Rams to the Chargers. And it's symbolic of what the Chargers are trying to do. Yes, they have to compete in a difficult AFC West. They also have to compete in Los Angeles.
No question.
Where, you know, I raised this question last night. Will the Rams banner actually be hanging when the Chargers are playing games? Because they're in that stadium where the defending champions play. No. And either the banners or the hooks on which the banners hang will be there.
Yeah.
So it's a reminder. It's a constant reminder. Every time they show up for work, it's a reminder that the other team that plays there is the defending champions, and they have taken over the L.A. market. And the Chargers have, I don't know that I want to say the better quarterback in Justin Herbert, but the guy with the higher ceiling, the guy who has taken the NFL kind of by storm, and he's going to be around for a long time.
Right.
And now's the time to strike, to put the team around him. That's where I think the urgency comes from. It's not just we got to keep up with the Chiefs and the Broncos and the Raiders. It's we got to keep up with the Rams.
I agree with you there. You gotta think that's on their radar to a degree. So what do? Yeah, they got some star players to kind of, you know, put them on the map in L.A. Yeah, Khalil Mack, he's going to look good on, you know, on posters and, you know, drive-by boards on the highway and all that stuff. Same with J.C. Jackson. Let alone, listen, fits the system with Brandon Staley. And then as we know, and we've talked about a ton over the last month, I mean, the AFC West, again, we know you got to score points. Okay, we got that set up. Now we got to worry about, you know, stopping some of these offenses, you know, stopping Mahomes. All right, it's Russell Wilson and that offense. They got weapons. You know, Josh McDaniels, Derek Carr, you know you're going to be challenged by that group there. I mean, it's some unbelievable division with offensive minds, quarterbacks, and really weaponry at the wide receiver and tight end position to where, hey, the Chargers have put themselves in a spot now to where hey, we can make a stop or two each half against these guys with some of the talent we got on the football field. So huge day by them. Certainly one of the teams you look at to go, man, not only big splashes, makes sense for what they do schematically, and one of the teams that I think won the first day of free agency at least.
And this isn't, and we'll talk about the Jaguars at some point. The Jaguars, I think, are trying to spend their way out of dysfunction. This is a team that are trying to spend their way into contention.
Yeah.
Is that a fair assessment?
I think so. Exactly right. You're right. I mean, yeah, they're a team that's very close, as we know. We saw that. They were dancing on the edge of making the playoffs against the Raiders, kind of fell apart towards the end of the year. I mean, again, we went into, one point of the year there when Kansas City went and visited them on Thursday night where we're going, well, I mean, the Chargers look like they still got a chance to win the AFC West and be, a major player in the AFC playoffs, and they fell apart. They needed these little finishing touches to make them, I think, a legitimate, not only just get in the AFC playoffs, but now we can make some moves and really be a real threat.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.